Today we have the brand new GX550 in the shop, and what we are installing is going to be a front and rear bumper. So the truck currently has a bunch of parts taken off of it already because our techs were a little bit too fast and I was a little bit too slow to get up here and film it beforehand. But we got some shots of it rolling in and stuff, but we're going to talk about what we have here. So on this table here we have the CBI bumper. This is probably the best looking bumper for the GX550 in my opinion. And this is a very minimal bumper install as far as installation. Very easy. It is a no cut bumper from what we are currently seeing so far. We haven't done any trimming or cutting or anything to make this go on it currently. In front of me here we have the factory bumper that has so many sensors and shutters and all these bits and pieces that are in these new trucks now with all the technology. An interesting part over here too is the new LEDs that they have for the fogs, which you can control with either white output or the amber or yellow output, which Toyota picked up and been keeping an eye on for in the aftermarket space. A lot of the sensors here that we're going to have to move over to the new bumpers. A lot of weird lines that are on the for the washer fluid as well, which is kind of strange that we had to pull off as well. I don't know how that's going to transfer over to the new one yet, but we're going to see. But this bumper here will sit underneath this section here, so we shouldn't have to really move any of that stuff over. But I haven't gotten that far yet. But from what I'm seeing, the main purpose of doing this bumper is, the main one is obviously the winch. So if you want to run a winch to pull yourself out or pull anybody out off-road or even on-road, that's going to be the main reason why you would want to do a bumper for a GX550. The other reason is going to be to add some recovery points here. Very strong, beefy recovery points. And then also running an aftermarket light bar in this as well, which this customer is getting, and it's just going to sit right behind here. It looks like it's going to be a 30 or 40 inch light bar. I believe it's a 30-inch light bar, but that's going to go on there. All of this here is going to mount to the frame, so this is going to be plenty strong to support both the winch and take an impact on the trail. So this is the front one. Let's go take a look at the rear. In the rear here, we don't have as much pulled off, but we have the fender flares pulled off, which extend from kind of near the rear door all the way down to the bumper itself. Kind of a one piece there. And then we got to remove some other parts, which expose some of the kind of cross traffic blind spot sensors back here as well, which is pretty cool how they do it and how small they're getting compared to like the third gen Tacoma back in the day. On the floor here, we have the rear bumper. Again, very slim, just like the front one, because this is really not a big bumper, because this vehicle is not really like the 5th gen 4Runner where it has a very large bumper to kind of cover up a lot of the metal back there. So very slim, looks good, and gets you recovery points in the back. Also has these pockets so you can run additional lighting like a Baja Designs S2, which this customer is getting, and still has all the nice body lines that you get from CBI in general. So this is going to be going on there, and it bolts right up to the frame as well, so you can actually use these points and feel comfortable and safe doing so, just because when you're pulling up somebody out, it's a lot of force that could be applied. But the other thing is going to be the rock sliders. So this GX550 currently has these running boards on there, and they sit pretty low from the ground here. So this customer wants to prepare the GX for pretty much anything that is going to be thrown at this vehicle when he goes off-road. So we got sliders here, which we haven't pulled off yet, but installation is pretty easy. It's going to bolt right to the frame here on the side of the vehicle and underneath the vehicle as well. So we are pretty much wrapped up with this GX550. What we have here is that Same CBI front bumper that we talked about earlier with the winch installed, and a Baja Designs 30-inch light bar back there with the amber lights. The one thing that I kind of dislike is these holes in the front here. So if you come closer, you'll see these holes that the dealership put in, and those stay there because that's not part of the lower section there. So now you have a couple holes in there and you can't really put a plate there. So it's kind of just an eyesore at this point. So if you are getting a brand new GX550, ask your dealership to not install the front plates. That way it'll be nice and clean for you. But besides that, the full front end looks amazing. So the one downside with this bumper here, along with most other hidden winch bumpers, is that the clutch is a pain to get to. And you can kind of see my hand right here. I can touch it, but I cannot reach it far enough to twist it. So I'm gonna have to do some kind of, I don't know, to reach that. It's kind of a pain. So I'm not exactly sure how you're really supposed to reach that. There's no access hole down here either, and nothing down here. There's the bottom, there's a hole down here, but that's just your synthetic line. But this section over here is honestly the only spot you can really get in there. But I mean, I'm sure I can reach it if I really tried, but no, that's kind of impossible. So this GX550 currently doesn't have a lift on it, front or rear, completely blown stock. And even with the added weight from the steel bumpers, the vehicle sits pretty good, and it still has plenty of room to run these tires here. This is a 285/75/17, which is about a 34-inch tire. And this is pretty crazy because a couple years ago, 3rd gen Tacoma, 5th gen 4Runner, you couldn't even run up to a 33 without any kind of lift. So the fact that you can run 34s with no lift at all is amazing. So I'm glad Toyota and Lexus started to do that, so we can run the larger tires that everybody wants to run. It just makes the whole truck look better, and especially with these Falcons and the amount of dirt that it has on it right now, it really accents the tire and makes it look a little bit more rugged than you would expect from Lexus. But that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We will have more of this build when we get this vehicle back in here for some suspension work. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys later.